Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to what I hope to be the beginning of a great journey. This is a journey of horror beyond our comprehension, horror beyond our imagination, a brand of horror that extends beyond the cosmos itself. And I'm talking about H.P. Lovecraft, if you can see that. That's H.P. Lovecraft. So this is basically Andrew Reviews H.P. Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft is a writer that I've kind of dabbled in here and there, every now and then. There are occasionally times, like nowadays, where I just get on a huge binge and just decide, you know what, screw it, I'll just read some of his stories. Except now I'm going to take the opportunity to read these stories contained within, there's another one, contained within these collections. These are a trilogy of collections. This is the best of H.P. Lovecraft, blood-curdling tales of horror and the macabre. We'll be reviewing this one first. And then we'll be moving on to this one, which is H.P. Lovecraft, the Dream Cycle of H.P. Lovecraft, Dreams of Terror and Death. And then we will be going out with the transition of H.P. Lovecraft, The Road to Madness. Again, my dad introduced me to H.P. Lovecraft, and I haven't really looked back since. Although, of course, there are elements of Lovecraft stories, which we will get into, that involve racism, xenophobia, and general misanthropy towards the human race as we know it. So, we will get into that, we will address that, just in case other fans of Lovecraft are like, is he going to talk about the racism of H.P. Lovecraft? Yes, I will. I will talk about that. It's in a good majority of these stories, so if there's a good chance most videos in this series will talk about it. But also to talk about the influence of Lovecraft, just kind of briefly. You know, he inspired many authors. One of which is of many is like Stephen King. He had his own little group of people like Robert Bloch and Clark Ashton Smith, August Derleth. I think most of those stories are like in here. Again, but we'll get to that. I guess to just kind of give a general overview of H.P. Lovecraft, just to look through the introduction of this one, which is the first stop on our Lovecraft quest. Howard Phillips Lovecraft, that is his name. He was born in Providence, Rhode Island in 1890, August 20th, 1890. He had a very rough life. He was born to a very rich family, but the family had a slow decline. His mother and his father both ended up at mental institutions. He was raised by other relatives of his family. He was generally a paranoid, afraid of everything, and he didn't really reach great success in his life with his stories, which seemed to come much later after he died in because I keep mixing up these stories. Well, I keep mixing up the dates of when he died. He was born in 1890, died in 1937. So, Lovecraft, again, he only seemed to really get popular after his passing through other authors that he wrote letters to, again, like Robert Bloch, Robert E. Howard, Clark Ashton Smith, August Derleth, all these other people, and through like anthologies of his stories, since most of his stories fall under public domain, though not all of them. Of course, again, it inspired later authors, like Stephen King, especially. Other writers, this one has an introduction from Neil Gaiman, and I'm sure Neil Gaiman gained some influence from there. Terry Pratchett gained some influence a little bit. Lovecraft's just kind of everywhere. You know, in movies, and TV shows too, like Lovecraft Country, um, Herbert Reanimator, and From Beyond, both by Stuart Gordon. That Color Out of Space movie with Nick Cage. Um, he's everywhere. Lovecraft is everywhere. With horror, and specifically cosmic horror. A lot of his horror revolves around the concept of humanity being utterly insignificant in a grand scheme of things in the face of utterly ambivalent and malevolent entities which probably don't give a flying shit about our existence. But, you know, so yeah, this is a very optimistic author, as you can tell from these illustrations, some of which may or may not have boobs. I didn't check before. Oh, I think one of them has a butt. Regardless, I'll probably put like a warning or something beforehand. But yeah, so we're gonna be going through these. Books, and we're gonna be going through these stories. Hopefully, you can enjoy this with me. Again, I will be discussing some of the more problematic, as well as the influence. I'll also be discussing the problematic side of Lovecraft, which I think is very important if you're going to talk about him. Yeah, so this is just kind of like a little prelude, a little sneak peek at what is to come. So, if you want, you can join me on Andrew's quest of H.P. Lovecraft. I'll come up with like some sort of name for this month. And it's not gonna be like a themed month where like 1 month is dedicated to Lovecraft. This is just kind of like a random, like, fun little thing that I want to do. So anyway, I hope you'll join me on this Lovecraft quest. I think I might do something with that. But yeah, I hope you'll join me on this little review, on these reviews of H.P. Lovecraft. So yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye.